What's up, guys? We're back with another ARC 101. Today we're going to talk about how to sink foundations, whether it just be on land or whether it be on a raft. The method is the same it's the same regardless of what you're going to do. It's the same sort of procedure, process, whatever you want to call it. So sinking foundations allows you to drop the foundation a little bit lower on the mat. Now what that allows you to do is to make your rafts a bit more level. Also allows you to drop the elevation down on your bases a little bit if you're trying to make them a bit more lower to the ground. There's a lot of little building tips and tricks that I use that a lot of my build videos I work with sinking foundations in order to get certain effects or feels, but play around with it is the best thing that I can mention to you. So to do this, you're really just going to need some foundations and some pillars, and that's it. Now, if you're on a server that has the pickup option enabled, where you can pick the things up after you've placed them, you're going to need even less to get the depth that you want to get to. So I'm on the beach over here on the island, and it's fairly level over here anyway, but I'm going to show you how. We'll show you how to do it on the raft and on the ground. So what I have is some wooden foundations and some wooden pillars. So the easiest thing to do is we place the foundation right. Place the foundation down, and this is the normal height. Now let's say we want it to sit lower than that. We don't like the way it sits. So what we do is we grab a pillar and we snap it to the middle, right? That's it. So we grab another foundation, and if you notice, it tries to hook level with it. But if you cycle through the snap points, see how it dips down like that? And if we place it like this, that's what we're going for. And what we do is we go over here and we pick up the pillar, then we pick up the foundation, and then we repeat the process. So we drop a pillar here, then we go to this side and we drop a foundation, and it drops lower. And there you got it. So you got the lowered foundation, and we can keep doing this a little bit more. And then I'll show you what you want to avoid doing. So if you notice, I can still interact with this foundation, right? So let's say I try to sink it on this side. I can still interact with this one. So let's pick everything back up. So if you sink these, and I'm going to show you here because we're going to get to that point where I can still mess with this one, right? So we're still sinking them down. You want to be careful. You see how this is where I don't see the foundation anymore? If you sink it underground like that, you're not going to be able to get to it. Without an admin code, you're stuck like that, and it's not going to be able to you're not going to be able to get into it. You want to watch having foundations, honestly, even being this low, because sometimes, depending on the map that you're on and the environment you're building in, even this foundation you won't have access to be able to pick up, and you'll be screwed, and the foundation will be stuck underneath there, and you won't be able to get to it. Now, depending on the effect, maybe you're trying to hide it completely, maybe you can make it work for you, but all in all, I would say avoid it at all costs. But as you can see, everything just snaps to it again, just like it would any other normal base. And what you end up with, something here, is very flat, so you don't need stairs to get inside the base. And this works with any building material. If you're using stone, metal, thatch, wood, tech, whatever, it works the same way. So that's how you sink the foundations down. It's the easiest way to do it. So on the rafts, it's very much the same process. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hide the sail on this guy because it makes it a little bit easier for me to see what I'm doing. You really want to pay attention to this point where the sail comes out at, really. To sink the foundations on the raft is the same process, but we want to make sure we're lined up well before we decide to do this. So what we're going to do is actually take this out in the water a little bit, because sometimes it'll try to clip to the ground underneath of it versus the actual raft. So what we're going to do is when we get it to the raft, regardless of whether you're gamepad or keyboard, you want to drive the raft, but you don't want to move anything. You just want to toggle your pillar. And you can move that pillar right over top and just drag it straight down. Don't go left or right, just drag it straight down to when you get to where you want it. Now I want it right there, right over top of that hole is what I'm looking for. And then from there I can just jump off. All right, so we got the pillar here. So we drop a foundation next to it, and you notice it kind of clips right here. And then we just pick this pillar up, and then we start our process. Same as we did before. Drop the pillar, then we drop a foundation, and then it drops next to it. We keep doing the same thing. So pillar, foundation, sinks down. Whoop, I hit drive by accident. If you don't have the pickup option, you just have to demolish these things as you go along. It's the same process. Whoop. And there we go. And we're gonna drop this one more time. And you notice that we can't see it. Now, on the raft, it's not a big deal. On land, you don't want to do this because you won't be able to get to the foundation. But on a raft, you can just get down in the water and you can get up underneath of it to the floor. So if you want to change it out or switch it for stone or metal or for whatever later on down the road, you can. There's no worries about that. The other good thing about this is now I can extend these foundations all the way around that one in the center. And if I come up here, they cover the whole raft. Now I left that back open for right now because I don't have a ramp going up to it, but let's do that too. Let's put this in, and then let's say we'll just put a ramp back here just to make things simple. So there we go. So we boxed in the whole raft. Now the raft sticks up a little bit out of the top, which is good because I can still drive it from here. So normally when you set foundations on here, you wouldn't be able to get to the actual, driving mechanism of the raft. You wouldn't be able to do any of that. You'd have to build around it and leave this part empty, but now you don't have to do that. So now you have a pretty flush thing to work with. And there you go. And from there, like I said, it works just the same as what we did on the ground. You can build walls around it like you normally would. However you want to build it, doesn't matter. But that's how you sink the foundations down. Sinking foundations is useful in a bunch of different scenarios, but aesthetically, this is good. Now, if you're on a map that has the collision disabled, which, unless you're playing on official, most maps do, they have it disabled so that you can do things like that. You can end up actually making foundations snap on top of each other. So let's say I do this right here, right? And I'm going to sink a foundation here, and then I'm going to place another one right on top of it. So I have two foundations on top of each other. What that does from a PvP standpoint is gives me essentially two foundations there. The armor of two foundations versus just one foundation. And it gives me two extra snap points. It gives me 2 snap points instead of 1. So now I can snap one wall and I can snap 2 walls. So now I have the structural integrity of 2 walls versus 1 wall here, which makes making your PvP base, or even in PvE, dinos, if you're working with stone and thatch and wood structures, you don't have to worry about your enemy dinos tearing stuff down quite as easily. So that's definitely an option as well. And with the use of fence foundations, because you can clip them to the end of the foundation, you could add even more, but you could also do more than just 2 here. We could sink it down another one over this way and stack 3 foundations on top of each other and have 3 snap points for walls. It makes building the base a little bit trickier, a bit more difficult to make, but it also makes it a heck of a lot harder for it to be broken down and beat up. So that's probably the 2 best options that you're usually going to use for thatch or for foundation sinking. You're going to use it to protect your raft body, in this case, and you're going to use it for aesthetics to drop it down, or you're going to use it for more snap points for your walls. And this is actually a pretty cool way to do stairs too when you think about it. So let's say I have a bait like this is my let's do this real quick. Just doink. So let's say this is the front door to my house, right? My front door to my house, and I don't want the standard ramp and I don't want the standard stairs. I could do something a bit more decorative by sinking foundations here. I could sink like this one here, right? And then I could pick this pillar back up, and then oh, actually we need to extend this out. So that's another thing. When you're sinking one, you can't just sink to the next one. You actually got to place another one and do it this way, just to get the height that you're looking for. Now, once you've done that, you can just come back and bam, there you go. So now you have kind of like a stair step thing, but you could make even lower if you really wanted to, which we can do real quick. Oh, no, because we got to bring it out one more. Let's take that. So now you have actually kind of have like a stair step up to it. Let's do one more, just to get the aesthetic feeling we're looking for here. So that's there, and we just put it over here real quick, just so we get the height. Again, you want to make sure you're not clipping it underground, because that'll come back to bite you in the butt. But there, you can do like a decorative, like your own kind of steps up the door. So, I mean, it definitely serves a purpose for more of aesthetics if you're looking for something to look a little bit different, or if you're looking for something more practical for defenses. I think it makes the rafts look better because it makes them sit a little bit lower. They not look like they're built on stilts sometimes, I think, without doing that. But But there's a lot of uses and a lot of playing around to it. I think it opens up a lot of this little trick opens up a lot of possibilities to how you might build things in Arc a little bit differently. But that's it. It's a pretty short video on about how to sink foundations in the Arc universe and what they might be used for. If you liked the video, please like, please subscribe, please send me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that notification buzzer so that you see the next video that's coming out. Comment with something that maybe you have a question about an Arc that you want to explain. Let me know. We'll try to shoot a small video on it and clear some things up and spread that knowledge around. So until next time, guys, thanks for hanging out.